digitalization has made things evolve is that that just distracted me, but it's okay. Is that data is very fragmented in nature. There's all manner of systems out here. I think each kind of solution, or I would say category, has so many other solutions that have been developed here. If it's social media, you have like 10 platforms, and every other day another platform getting started or created. And that notwithstanding, within even the ERP ecosystem, CRM ecosystem, all these systems, there's just so many. So data is so fragmented. And so, you have to look at how then do you bring data together? Because that's the only way analytics will make sense. And that's the only way businesses can be able to, get value from their data. We will today demo, we'll go through quite a number of things we are doing internally, features that we have developed internally, but also other third-party tools that we use a lot in our day-to-day operations, and even for our own marketing operations, but also for clients. It's a very intertwined ecosystem, but we hope this helps and brings perspective into how this works out for businesses, because marketing and sales is such a key part of in a business. It affects finances, it affects every other thing. And without your own revenue, you really can't business for long. So we believe this is a key part of our ecosystem, and generally for any other business out there in the world. But I'll introduce Duncan. Duncan, you can say a word, introduce yourself, and then we can get started.
All right, thank you, Joseph. Good evening, everyone. I'm Duncan Daniel. I'm part of the co-founding team in Novo Cloud. And as Joseph has said, of course, we've been through, lots of, changes, pivoting, and all that. But of course, this has been brought through by feedback, which we got from the market. Of course, in this context, I think we've analyzed quite a lot of data to be able to achieve all those changes. But I'm looking forward to an interesting presentation this evening, and I hope everyone takes something home. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Duncan. Duncan is our CTO, so he'll be also showcasing things here be doing. But let's dive into it. I'll do a presentation, and then in between we'll be demoing some of the capabilities that we offer and also that we use every day. I feel this is really important. So let me share my screen. Okay, all right. So here we are. Maybe just to give a brief background of the company and even how we named it. We believed in building local systems, and even the naming, we thought naming the company would need a local representation. And you know how Kenya is known is because of its wildlife, the savannah. And we were like, which is the most intelligent animal that, because the idea was we're building intelligent systems to help, our community be able to excel in whatever they do in their businesses. And we were like, oh, we researched, and we were like, I think the elephant really represents the what we really want to achieve out there and to build and to the outcomes we really want to drive for businesses out here. And that's when I discovered actually the elephant is really the most intelligent animal in the jungle, and it's also the strongest. So I just thought this was really interesting to just know. And I think this represents business analytics and how we would view it in this manner. So I just felt it's good to know, and how we came up with the name. Our vision definitely is to build cloud solutions and data in that manner, because in this day and age, I think this is where everything is about data. If you're not really looking things from a data perspective, or your decisions are not data driven, you definitely are not going anywhere, because as we say, you can't improve what you can't measure. And as you said, the movement of data is very key. And how does data move in today's, okay. If you have any question, you can type on the comment on the chat so that we can be seeing them and we can be coming up with answers as we proceed. So data moves through software. So software is very important for movement of data. We have our data stored in our social media accounts, our CRMs, our phones, Google searches, and all these. They all have so much data about us. And so if you're seeking to run a business, you have to know where all these data about your customers, market research. You can now find a lot of data out there. And so it's to use software. For our mission is actually to use software to be able to achieve that. I know this sounds a very audacious goal, but we believe in building local solutions. I think it's an area that we haven't represented ourselves very well. We mostly consume the Oracles of this world, the Microsofts of this world, but I believe there is space for both. Not in that we don't need them, but I feel locally we have the potential to build some of these solutions. Our core values definitely innovation, reliability, excellence, empathy, and integrity. And we will go straight into it. What is digital marketing? And in this case, what is digital marketing analytics? But even before that, something was defining a source of what is marketing in its, by definition. So marketing is the science of creation of demand. You can come up with a category, you define a category. For example, Uber, they defined a category, like you can now order taxi through an app. That didn't exist any further. So how do you actually creating demand that wasn't there for such kind of a solution? So you have to market to people who didn't know this exists, or it didn't exist, so people don't know it exists. So how do you market to them? So you're basically creating demand. And digital marketing in this case, everyone has moved online. TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, we are all consuming a lot of data there, a lot of information. And so right now, no business can ignore, whether you are trying to achieve awareness or engagement or even to convert customers. This has to be part of your plan. And so digital marketing is basically marketing across these digital platforms, which encompasses a lot of things. We have content there, SEO, pay-per-click, ads, all these, and it generates all sorts of data out there. And the data is so fragmented. And how do we make sense of this data? So we have to analyze the data, and which now begs the term digital marketing analytics. How do we analyze this data to make sure we are optimizing the money we are investing in these platforms? How can we recoup it? How do we get customers? The lifetime value of these customers, the cost of acquiring these customers. You have to analyze to understand all that, because the unity economics of your business have to make sense. But let's look at how this space has evolved over time. We are looking from early 90s, the days of AOL, Yahoo, and when email went mainstream, we came to search, banner ads, and all that, e-commerce with eBay, MySpace. I think some older people remember this, but I think the younger generation don't even know there's something that like MySpace that existed. And then the proliferation of social media from mid-2000s now all the way up to now. And now we are talking of things like Internet of Things and AI now coming, and the whole paradigm just really. But as you can see, one platform ecosystem really was just building up on the other one. E-commerce and Google search really built onto social media, AOL built on search and all that. And now all this data is what really is enabling even AI to start now making sense and being a possibility that we are able to develop AI because of the amounts of data. There is now enough data to train AI and it to develop some level of intelligence, basically. So in regards to marketing, you're basically looking at the business objectives and activities. You're probably launching a new product. As I said, something like Uber, that's a very new product. You have to, to go define a category, market in different territories and all that, and people have to adopt it. Or it could just be an existing category, something like, motor vehicle industry, that is an existing category. But if you come up with a new, brand of a car, you have to go market it also. So you're looking at business objectives and activities, then strategy and analytics, and definitely execution. And they are all intertwined. At each point, you're just continuously doing all these, improving on your strategy. Things evolve, markets change, macroeconomics change, microeconomics also change. So, but it's just these loops just happening over and over. And marketing is just at the core of the performance of any business. You just have to, because marketing actually just defines the product in real sense. Because when you're talking of design thinking, you want to design your product from a customer's perspective. You don't want to design a product from your own perspective. Definitely, the customers don't know what they really want. They don't have a whole picture of what they want. But when you have their data, you can actually design a better product for them, because you have better buyers on what they want. So when they give you data, you're able to bias it and build a more refined product. So that's very important. So 3 things. So let's say you have now your product and you really want it to really go. You want to make money. And money is what sustains a business. Money sustains operations. Money sustains every other thing. The best investor for our business is actually customers. People talk of VCs and all these. You can't do all those other. But when you have customers, it's the best investor for any business. So you ask yourself, who are these people? How should I reach them? And what should I say to them? Who are they? And this depends on the type of product you really selling. It could be a consumer-oriented product, what we say B2C. It could be a B2B product. It's a product targeting another business. All those dynamics now come in. So that defines the answers that come from who the product really influences that. A B2B product, a product targeting another business, when you ask who, that becomes you get a very different answer. So you're talking of decision makers, because it's a company, there are systems, there are departments. You're talking of who makes the decision that this product will be used in this company. But if you're looking at something that people use on the fly, things like household items, for me, I will just see something online and just buy it impulsively. I don't need to consult anybody. I don't need a committee to make a decision. So who really matters? Who might want my products or services? How should I reach them? So how do you then message that person? If you're looking at a B2B product, how do you message them? Professional, where do you find them? They're mostly on LinkedIn. So the messaging has to be professional. You have to use words they really recognize. You have to identify their problem. If it's a consumer-oriented product, things we use every day, these ones you'll find them on Facebook mostly. And you have to kind of use language that also they understand every day. So different outcomes expected here, different kind of people, different kind of dynamics you're dealing with here. So that's why it's very important to really analyze data. And some businesses you could have both. You could have a B2C product and also you could have a B2B product. So that's basically marketing in a nutshell. Who, how, and what should I say? And now, analytics now is what really helps you to define these as you continuously execute. So customer analytics is basically all about data. What am I buying? What's the value of the product, the price of the product? How are these interactions coming along? Where are these people buying from? Are people buying on your shop? Are people buying from your website? Are people buying, from a partner, selling through a partner ecosystem? What are the motivations? Things like offers, discounts, and all these things. What are their social activities? What do they do, within the social sphere and all that? And this is where our social life has just went digital. I don't think these days the organic social interactions and all that, that's something we are like struggling to now even just do. Like we are just so digital. We are just glued on our screens, on phones, and on our laptops. So that's why this is really an important conversation to have. How do we now then utilize analytics to make sure we are really capitalizing on the fact that we are spending so much time on these digital platforms? So, and that's where we come to the type of, how do we, this data again, primary first-party data, or what we call primary data. Each data has leverage because these systems are also very much intertwined. You have, let's say, your own system, a CRM, an ERP, or a sign-up form on your website. You have a website that collects first-party data. But if you run ads on Google or Facebook, that is secondary data because it's Google that got the primary data, but you're accessing data that they have given you. So you don't have so much control on its accuracy. They might just give you figures and you can't really verify the accuracy of that data. So primary data is what you have full control over system. Then second party data, basically you're executing something on another platform and gives you second party data. And then there's that party data. That party is where now there's another whole system altogether. They have data, they collected it, and there's a medium in which they give you data, or someone did research somewhere and they're telling you, okay, this is the data that we have collected and it could help you in this and this manner. So how then do you get insights from all these data? Because now all these data correlate and this should help you with marketing. At the core of it, you should be able to optimize to make more revenue. The core function of any business is make revenue. So how does these three types of data help you make revenue? How do you correlate, for example, weather and buying patterns of people? And again, back to your primary systems, the data of your existing customer, data of your existing customer, how do you correlate it with things like weather patterns and how it influences now, how should you run your ads and things like that. So you see how these correlate to give you the big picture. So what we do at Ndovu Cloud, we have built a system that automates now doing these things. How do you post on social media? We believe in the power of collapsing things. So it brings all these channels together so that we can coalesce data. That gives you leverage because one thing, you're saving time, it's more efficient, you're able to do it cheaper because it means you're collapsing labor, you're collapsing processes, you're collapsing logging into many platforms. Means now you need less labor. It gives you efficiency. So we've built a scheduling module. You're able to schedule your content, whether video, whether images from the platform. When it posts these posts on these platforms, you're able to see how many people viewed, how many clicks, how many comments did you get, and all that. Again, for inboxes, we have automated that. And so how things have evolved around data analytics is that we are seeing more and more people want self-serve analytics. They want a CRM that has they can do all the analytics. And then a CRM that enables integrations. How do I just feed other data from other systems without me leaving my CRM? And then again, how do I just correlate things? I think PI has really evolved so much in that sense that, some of these very kind of complex, for lack of a better word, BI approaches, data analysis, business analytics approach, I think it's becoming more and more like, a niche area. Most small, medium kind of businesses really, and then you're looking also at the velocity of really making decisions. You're going fetching data from traditional legacy systems to, again, the time it takes to analyze them and all that. that really, because decisions need to be made very quickly. So that's what we do. So, and then for the services now that we offer is we help people with running ads, optimizing them, being able to read through data and being able to just help them optimize on the cost of customer acquisition. So that's a very important thing. So we, again, how we are evolving with our software, with our platform is we just want to feed on these APIs to bring all these capabilities to one place. Okay, you do everything here. You'll see all the data, and then you can just improve on whatever you're doing just from there. We believe that's very important for especially small to medium businesses that are seeking to just grow without breaking their bank. So that's very important. But Duncan, I would want to introduce Duncan at this point to just say something. Duncan, do you want to say something? Before I present I show Google paid search analysis on Google. I think we can start there. Duncan?
Yeah, I think as you present Google Ads, I think basically what you've covered so far. I think all these builds up to I would say the core of analytics in terms of I mean in marketing perspective, because all this data from these sources at the end of the day, you don't want this data to just go just come and it's not acted upon. So I think the most critical part of the whole process is first obtaining the data, and of course now in this case now the so to say the correct data now. Of course, sometimes I think that's where we are coming in when we mention now paid search. I mean paid kind of ads and so on. Now, this one can also give you now a bit more of a targeted data, which it's easier to crunch and I mean, be able to make decisions quite easily. Yeah, but I think so far the conversation is going pretty well. Yeah, you can back to.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Let me check. Are there any questions? I have not checked the chat.
Not so far.
Betty, are there any questions?
There are no questions in the chat. I can check that for you. Maybe we can throw it back to the participants. Are there any questions?
Okay, I think we can.
I think you're good to go. Yeah, proceed.
Okay, all right. Let me, for example, share a sample dashboard here of Google Ads, just to see sample of second-party data. Let me switch my screen share. Let me just share my other screen. So, for example, I don't know how many people in the class are within the marketing space. So this is a sample dashboard. So you can see this is just a platform that gives you a lot of data that you're able from a glance to just see what's happening. Several campaigns have been run here. They are just giving you an overview of what is happening, the keywords that people are searching. Marketing, chatbots, digital marketing, digital market, how the cost of how each keyword is actually, which keyword actually, so the match budget that was allocated for each keyword, how many clicks each keyword gave you, and even within the campaigns that you're running, you can just see an overview of what's really happening. And so you can consume this data. You can actually pull all this data and build your system on top of, you can consume this data from Google Ads. You just need a developer account and you're able, through a key, you're able to consume all this data and build another application that can enable clients to actually see this data from your platform much more quickly and easily, because now you're on Google Ads, you want to go to another platform. And so we're in the process of just making sure we can bring all this data to one platform. So this is advertising data, and you can see just what is happening here. These are keywords that people are just searching at a glance. You can just see which keywords are searching, and you can just so much data beneath that can be you can see. But from an overview, you can see what is really happening. You're able just to see, are these ads really working out or are they not? Then you're also able, from where you see it, you can actually, you interface with your sales team. Are they really getting leads, or are they not? What is really happening? And then you just come back here and you just continue optimizing for the outcomes that you really want. But this is just sample of second-party data, because Google produces this data for you. And SMEs really need this, because how do they market effectively on these platforms? You get a lot of people when they contact us, like we prospect them and they're like, okay, we've been running Google Ads and we have not made any sales. We spent $1,000, there's nothing we've made. I mean, I think that's a lot of money for a small business not to make any sale from. And sometimes it's just they don't understand, how do I research which keywords to target for my customers and such kind of thing. So these ecosystems carry just so many things. You can, for example, you can do a keyword research here quickly. You can go to the keyword planner and just, do some keyword research here very quickly. Discover new keywords. You can just type here, let's say, master's program in Kenya. Is that correct? Very few keywords. I think I typed wrong. Okay, yeah, you can see these different universities. I don't know where. Okay, so you can see how each of these have the volumes, the number of people who are searching some of these keywords. And so you're able now to just make better decision when you're launching your ad. If there is no volume of people searching for the keyword, how much budget you really put into this thing, they don't really give you much. So, and just, getting the big picture out of all this data out here and really fragmented, I think that's really tough. So I think there's need to just help people consume data from just so many systems and bring it to one system. Yep. So that's second party data. This Google gives you this data. How you use it for your business to optimize outcomes, that's how much now you understand this system. So just giving you perspective on why even we took this seriously, and I think we can do something around this and just help businesses, because this is data that really matters for businesses. The core of business is making money. So Duncan.
Yes, Joseph.
Let me share let me go back to my presentation.
Okay.
And see where we are. All right, so that's about paid search analysis. There's social media and display media analysis. Most of social media platforms are display oriented. You're just scrolling and seeing things. Duncan, you can demo what you have prepared around it. Our systems, this is an area now where we started, and this is where we built so many capabilities around. You can take people through that, and then we take it from there.
All right. So let me share my screen. think shows that it's disabled. I think Betsy can check that.
Yeah, you should be able to share it now. Yeah, so, sorry about that.
I think, Joe, you can stop sharing yours.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you. I believe it's visible now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I want to first take you through, for purposes of this section, I just take you through our social media management platform. Yeah. So we just head over to our website. That is dovecloud.com. That's the page where I'm in. So I'll sign in with one of the existing accounts just to take you through how it looks like and how things work. So basically, this is the main dashboard. Yeah, so we basically, as Joseph had mentioned earlier, we've built capabilities around inboxes, social media management, that is around posts, scheduling. We also have content creation and e-commerce. So I'll go through the second section on social media management. That's what carries post scheduling, the calendar feed, the post analytics, and also comment. Yeah, so basically how it works, you find to link your social accounts. From this point, and you click on channels, you'll be able to, but for this instance, I have account connected for our Fondo Cloud. So basically, this is how it looks like. You can add more, you can connect all these channels and have them in one place. Facebook pages, Facebook groups. We have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, we have Pinterest, we have TikTok, Twitter. We also have YouTube. Of course, now we're also working now to get even more social accounts being integratable. We have like Google My Business. That's also a key social media platform. So that's something we're gonna see. Yeah. So once you have your account linked and click on all done, you should be able now to see to get back to the point where you're able to share your to start now managing your posts. So when I click on posting, I'll see all my connected channels are well displayed there. So one, you can schedule for one account. You can schedule for all of them depending on exactly what you want to do. So basically, once you click on any a channel or any platform, click on the icon. You have a section there to just I think my browser is misbehaving, but I believe sure. I think it's taken. Yeah, we're on the same section, right?
Yeah. We
All right.
Duncan,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
I've seen your browser is acting up.
Yeah.
Things are okay. No, I think it's
but I think we are back on track. So so when you click on any icon on any channel which you have connected, you're able to get its section there where you can enter your content, upload your files, and then after now entering all that, after now adding your content, whatever you need to set, you can now decide whether you want to share instantly or you want to schedule the post. When you click on schedule, I think this one is a very, it's a very important feature as Joseph mentioned earlier, in terms of helping you plan ahead, saving you time, because you can schedule even content for 3 months, 1 month, or even a year. So as long as you have your content schedule very well done, so it helps you plan ahead and just ensure that your things are running without you having to like wake up every day and go post, or maybe waking up late at night, because all these platforms also have you really have to be keen on the optimal times of each of the platforms when you are sure your audience will be able to see you, or when you are sure your audience is active. Yeah, so you can decide to do that, schedule, share now, pretty easy. Yeah, so that's now about now scheduling the content or posting it directly. Now I'll go now to the calendar section, which now helps you now to be able to see what exactly have you done, what exactly have you planned, or you're able to see exactly how your content looks like over time, and exactly what you're expecting to go live on your platforms. So like, for instance, if I check this week in our, you can see we have already scheduled for Mashujaa Day on Friday on the 20th. Yeah, so you're able to see exactly what your plan looks like, and be able to track exactly and know this content is going live on this day. You can also always come back and, of course, edit, maybe change our post, change the timing, and so on. So that you're able to also, I mean, things change, and you have also to be very flexible in terms of how you manage the platforms. Yeah, so let me go now to the feed. Now the feed is also another interesting feature, because it gives you, I mean, over time, how you are, like, for instance, you're able to see your feed from just here, how exactly your timeline looks like. I mean, what you have posted, what you have exactly what is happening, instead of now logging into Facebook and seeing, I mean, trying to scroll through and see the feed from that side. You're able to see all that in this one centralized location. Yeah, that's also a good feature, exactly, especially when for someone who is keen to see exactly how their content is performing. We also have now the post analytics. You're able to see exactly how your posts are doing, and now be able to know, I don't know whether that one has loaded on your side. I'm not sure whether my browser is still okay, but yeah, but basically, yeah, exactly. Like for Facebook, you can see I'm able to tell exactly how, I mean, even the overview of my page, the followers, the engagements, the impressions. Full time, you can also change the period you want to see exactly how has your content been performing over time, and now be able to know exactly how your brand is performing out there. Yeah, so basically, just to mention and wrap it up, I would say this the most say the most important part of this whole system is making sure that you do not have, I mean, don't have to log into the different platforms. And I think that's also very, and even for even personal accounts, I think switching from one social media platform to another is usually a bit, I mean, comes with its own challenges here and there. Even device-wise, even when your device is not really powerful. I mean, you switch from, let's say, LinkedIn to Twitter, and perhaps LinkedIn is already utilizing most of your device's power, so it starts freezing, and you see all that comes with a lot of frustrations and so on. So this one will really help you now be able to monitor everything from one place, and you are always sure that you are anytime want to check something, you just need to log in one place and see how your brand is performing. Yeah, so that's it about the post scheduling section, and social media for that matter. Yeah, so I think we'll see whether you if you have any questions, maybe we'll look at them. And of course, I think we'll also be back to check e-commerce at a later stage, I believe. So
Okay.
just yeah. So I think so back to you, Joseph. I think we can proceed to the next one. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Okay. I see there's a question.
All right.
Richard is asking, I'm currently working on a project in partnership with an internet service provider. How can we leverage retargeting in Google Ads to engage visitors who previously visited our website but did not convert? What insights can we get from the keywords our competitors are bidding on in Google Ads? All right. How can we leverage retargeting in Google Ads to re-engage visitors? So one is putting in the tags so that, the Google tags, so that you're able to know exactly who are these people who visited. Google is able to track everyone who came from their ads to your website. So then you tell it, we want to actually, so the first thing is actually setting the tags, because you want to track that data. If you're not tracking that data, then you can't really do any retargeting. Richard, I don't know whether you've done that. Then number two is, yeah, okay. What insights can we get from the keywords our competitors are bidding on in Google Ads? So sometimes, I mean, it's just simple. Like, you can just Google search, like once you run the ad, or when you're planning to run the ad, just go to the Google search and search for that product and see which companies are actually running the ad, and how even they've structured their statements, the ad titles and all that. And you just want to, just a quick, you have like the clear picture. But then again, there are tools that can actually, tell you what people are, which keywords are people, the volume and all that. And then tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush can actually tell you exactly, who is bidding for which keyword. And now, how do you really outsmart them? How do you now, bid even higher? But you see, Google depends on a lot of factors. Google is so website oriented, in the sense that if you've not optimized your website, really, also that's a problem. Like, they might actually just show the competitor ads before, because maybe they've optimized their website better. Number two, their organic SEO is actually better. So because Google at the end of the day still doesn't want to show their ads to to recommend poor products, or rather, and how they imagine your product is poor if you don't rank organically first. Number two, the keywords on your website are not matching the keywords you're actually bidding for. So that's very important. So you have to set, put the tags to make sure first they are tracking the activity on what's happening on your ads. Number two, making sure at least you have some bit of organic SEO already has picked, don't, like, you're not launching the website today and running Google Ads tomorrow. I think that's quite a long call. And now when you put all those things together, then you're able to start seeing good results, because now at the end of the day, Google wants to recommend brands that they feel also represent that their search engine, that it's recommending the right products for people. Richard? Okay, all right. I think we can proceed. I think Richard is cool, but okay, all right. So we will proceed with the presentation. For this presentation, we thought it's just good we cover something and we just demo it and we ask questions. I think it's much better, so that we don't have like so much, we're losing people in the process by just covering a lot of ground fast before. So let's see what next. Email. email is, I think, the quite older platform than even social media, and email has also really evolved over time, and it has evolved in the sense that data has also evolved, because actually I think email is like the primary data, because even when you're signing up on the social media, you have to give out your email when you email is part of your hosting. It's your email is hosted somewhere on a server. And if you've been very keen, like when you're buying some hosting, like on these servers on some of these platforms, they actually somewhere tell you, click this to, if you don't want us to sell your data. So I think the biggest people who are selling data out here is actually like the hosting provider. And somehow you give them consent without knowing. So because I make those communications very subtle, you just tick things and you don't even know what you're really ticking. But with email, it's such a, with B2B, as we said, depending on who you're really targeting for your product, email is such a core platform to also market, and we thought it's good to cover it. We haven't really built capabilities around email. Okay, we have, but not much, not in this sense. But it's very key for us, even for own marketing. We really use it a lot. And even some clients over time have asked us to help them with their email marketing as a service. And the first thing you really want first is, where do you get people's emails? Like, let's say I want to target a CEO to try to pitch them a product. Where do I get their email? That's the first thing. Number two is, will the email get delivered? Because there's spam blocks. Some of these, the biggest professional email providers are three. It's Google Workspace, Microsoft, and Zoho. I don't think there is any other outside those three, Duncan. I don't know. Is there a fourth one?
You mentioned Zoho, yeah. I think
I think they're just three. So
Zoho. Yeah.
And these are very big providers. So their system can know, when you don't have a relationship with a person, like you're just emailing them for the first time. So they actually flag off people so much. So your email might not actually go through, even if you have the correct email, they'll actually flag you off. So the first thing you want to think about is, will my email get delivered? Number two, when it gets delivered, will it get opened? Number three, if let's say it has a link, will people click that link? And eventually I want to make that person a client. And there are things around email like personalization. I need first, if it's, let's say I'm trying to sell to a top CEO, of course, I would want to approach them in a way that's like, I know them, I've done research around them, I know there's a pain point they would want solved, and probably I know it's not solved, so I'm pitching my value. So personalization is a topic around email marketing, but there's always issue of personalization versus relevance. If the person really has that problem, then probably you don't have to personalize. They just need to know, can you solve this for me? But I'll demo a tool here. I don't know whether any of you in the audience has used it or has heard about it, because this tool has email. It is an email database. You can get emails of some of the top CEOs around the world. It has around 300 million emails of professionals. So you buy the tool, you segment whichever region you want. If you want emails of professionals in Kenya, in USA, wherever, you just segment there and you create your copies, you pitch your product, and you're done with your business. You just now book meetings if someone is interested in your product. And the tool is really data intensive. It's and I thought, like, probably we need someone to develop this tool here locally for the local data. Because these people have our data and I don't know where they got it from. But I mean, it's a good tool. We use it and it gives us results. So let me just share my screen. Let me share this screen so that So this tool is called Apollo. It's an email database for prospecting and customer intelligence intelligence. Very powerful tool. So if you go home here, you have control center, cockpit, data health center, and onboarding. But the main features that are very cool of this tool is the search. So you can search people and companies across the world, not just like anywhere, but across the world, anywhere. So let me, for example, go here and I want to search Bill Gates' email. I know this is scary. I can just search direct. Let's say Bill Gates. We have Bill Gates' email. Bill Gates. Okay. I don't think it. Oh yeah. Does it have Bill Gates? But it has some of those emails of top people. I've seen a couple of them. But I can just come here. Okay. I want to, let's say, target a certain title. Let's say a chief technology officer. I have a technical product I want to sell. I want to sell my cloud services, my virtual machines to a CTO in a company. So I'll come, let's say, I segment the title, let's say CTO. I put my title there. Let's say I want to target CTOs in the US. So I'll go for location. Where is location? States. Just a minute. Okay. Let me refresh just a minute. I think it's still searching for my Bill Gates search. Search. Let me just open on a new. Okay. Which screen am I on? Okay, right. I think. Am I sharing the right screen, Dan?
Yeah, sure.
It's the right one. Okay, all right. So I search CTO. I want CTOs within the US, United States. So there they are. I can't say company size because for products targeting other companies, you really want to know the size of the company. The way you pitch to a small company is not the same way you pitch to a big company. So let's say I want companies from size 21 to 50. Then I can narrow down that. I can even see if they are actually checking out the product that I want to buy. So, okay, leave alone keywords. Okay, I can again segment according to industry. If I'm targeting people in accounting, agriculture, airlines, aviation, whatever, but also I can go by intent. So they have intent, like you can check if, someone is, is looking for whatever solution around whatever you're developing. Someone wants e-commerce platform. So you can actually, they have intent around what someone is searching. So they have some signals around what people are searching on the internet. And so if you want to sell a 3D modeling software, you can select, so you're able to segment further according to buying intent. So just a lot of stuff according to revenue, funding, whatever technologies. So you can really narrow down to a persona that you really want to target. So one is database. They have a very extensive database that, of different kind of titles across the world, and you're able to target these people. So they give you the email. So let's say, for example, I try to access this here. You can see their email. So this is primary email. This is their company email. You can add them to sequence. So you can just send the email from here. But you have to link up with, a mailbox. You have first to connect a mailbox. Could be whatever. Zoho, IMAP, SMTP kind of email, webmail type, any type of email you can connect. Even a Gmail you can connect actually. So you can just prospect here. So once you prospect, you can create a list. It has just a lot of features within the data. You can just now segment your data, and then you come here and create engagement. Now you create sequences where you can send these emails to these people. So some of the sequences we've sent for clients and other people we've worked with. And so it gives you a lot of analysis. You're able to see how many spam blocks you got, the number of emails that you sent, how many were delivered, how many people opened, how many clicks you got on the link that was there, and then how many people replied that either interested or, and all that. And from there, you just go pitch. Some just say, can we have a meeting and discuss this further? And you just go and you close a deal. So this is really such a powerful platform because it incorporates both data and just conversations and prospecting at just another whole level. This is a US product, but I feel some of these, it's just very, it just shows how people are ahead of this game in terms of data. Like data is being used in a very deep way for people to get leverage. I feel like some of these are things we really have. Yeah, so that's something we really have to take very seriously. Apollo is such a powerful tool. It just has a lot of features. I think I wouldn't just go into details about all of them. But yeah, I don't know any questions around it. I feel like for people in market, this is a tool they will really.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting tool, especially back in the day when we were doing the email campaigns and you'd have to, what's it called, script emails from the internet and then send the campaign. So this makes it so much easier for anyone doing marketing email campaigns. But maybe the question would be, what's the balance between data privacy? But I guess it's data that's already shared on the internet. So there's no, it's not really, they're not hacking anyone to get this information. So it's information
Yeah, in fact,
that's already shared.
Yeah. In fact, they say if someone asks you where you get the email, just tell them to contact us. So yeah, but I think they work with hosting providers, the cloud providers. So if somehow you allow, you like said, your data can be shared, they actually just give them the data. So you actually have given them consent. And let's say if your data is publicly available on the internet, I think that's something also they just scrape. But they also mirror a lot on data on LinkedIn. So they also try to guess some emails though. Not all emails are actually correct. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And I like how they kind of figured out intent from people based on their web searches and to put them in a category of intent. So that's like a whole other level of customer segmentation or prospective customer segmentation.
Yeah. I think these are when we say we are doing data and we become data intelligent. I think these are some of the solutions. I think there could be local solutions around these, like someone who could just invest in or leasing local data and providing these kinds of solutions, maybe not exactly the same, and working alongside with other players to just see what value can be really. But I think this just shows how data now is just being used directly to help businesses drive outcomes. There are quite a couple of companies that are offering the same, but this is the most democratized kind of product within the area. Some are very expensive. I think they start from around $10,000 a month in terms of subscription. So not every company can afford that, especially I think local companies. That's really expensive. Because they're imagining they are giving you, just leads basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically selling leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think I don't know if there's a question around that.
Is there any question around, I guess, leads analytics? Or anything that has been covered so far? Maybe a question would be how have you seen this data being used to convert either sales into sales or into business strategy? How has that linkage been like for you?
We actually have clients we go through the database. For us, we had a few clients because for us we really just want to build capabilities around social media for now. We don't delve so much into, because again, it just requires a lot of resources to build so many capabilities. You have first to be good in some areas and then you can spill into others. But the few we've worked with is good reception. I think some people are not patient with marketing because it doesn't mean you have the data you just close within the first week. Some people are just overexcited, like they think they'll be swimming in with clients in the first week. But I think for the ones we've run, we've seen positive replies, meetings booked, and all that. And clients, there's one selling land, got a client. There's another one. A few have gotten clients, but it just takes a lot of continuing to refine your offer again, because you might book a meeting, then after that, someone is not really ready to buy and all that. So eventually you have, again, it has to intersect the problem and the solution you're offering. I mean, people just, I think relevance always wins over any other approach. We've seen, I think in marketing, that's what we've seen. Relevance is very key. And relevance is the solution I'm selling is really solving that need that someone is really wants. Yeah. But it's purely iteration and just observing data over periods of time. And that's why I think data is really key. I remember like our offer, how we refined it over time. It was just through, I remember we did some email campaign at some point and we got meetings, but we didn't close anybody. And so from that campaign, what happened is we got a lot of feedback. So do you have these? People asking, do you have these? Okay, you're pitching this, but do you have these? Do you have these? And that's the moment we started just picking those feedbacks and just coalescing them, and we were realizing this campaign didn't get us clients, but it actually told us what the market wants. So you could also do it for market research. I think for us, we've gone through those phases where you're doing marketing, but it actually research in real sense. It's people telling you what they want rather than you giving them what they don't want. So, and you have to be humble enough to build those things that they're asking for. And I think that's how you evolve sometimes as a business. What we've seen, I think some people are just very rigid with feedback because it takes a lot of humility to say, people are asking for this, that's what we need to build for them, and now in the best way that we know. So yeah. That's why we really appreciated marketing over time. Initially, we were just, I would say, geeks who just wanted to be smart and build things we think the market really wants. But over time, we realized when you check data, it just informs you what the market wants and how they actually want it. And we realized, I think that's, if you were to summarize data, that's the bottom line of data. It's you moving along with market, and that makes sure every other thing aligns. And so we appreciated the fact that actually marketing is such a key area where, people need to really solve a lot of problems around automations and all these, because eventually that's how you uplift. And then we looked at all the mature markets. There's just a lot of products that center around data and marketing, and that helps these people drive outcomes in a very efficient manner. So I think our ecosystem here, it's not very mature, but I think it's definitely, there are just many people out here doing things and helping uplift the ecosystem. So yeah, let's proceed. Let's see what we got here. So Duncan, I think we can go to e-commerce analytics. Let me, just a minute. Let me share the slide.
Okay.
So good to see. And then we can go to e-commerce. So I think e-commerce analytics is another key part. I think we've heard how the e-commerce space has been hitting people hard with Sky Garden. Jumia has never made profit and all these things. Then you wonder, these guys are doing data analysis, but what really goes wrong? Of course, I mean, we don't have details about their business models and all that. That's for them to know how they run their stuff. But I think at small scale level and a lot of niche areas where e-commerce is really, people are doing e-commerce for just shoes, men's shoes or ladies' shoes or whatever. Some are just selling organic stuff, supplements. I mean, there could be just niche e-commerce categories where people can thrive in a small or big way. But I think at the center of it is data analysis, in the sense that we have to think data analysis, business analytics in a very practical manner, where it's driving business outcomes and in the systems that are running it day to day. So Duncan, probably you can demo something around this, then we see what's up.
All right. I think I'll briefly share an e-commerce shop from the backend where one is able to see the data. So
there's someone asking, Dan, before you go, there's someone asking a question here about Apollo and email. So what's the difference between what Apollo is doing, aggregation, and third-party buyers and resellers? Richard, what do you mean by third-party buyers and resellers? I know kuna watu wa huku nini wanauza emails kwa streets.
I think that's what it's referring to.
I know some. Oh yeah, I think Richard is in marketing. He understands these things. So I think there's not much difference. I think that I think what those people on the streets, those are just MVPs, minimum viable products for them. It's just they are just doing it at a very small scale. Apollo is doing it at very large scale. So I think that's the difference. You see, at scale, you want a system. You want to reach many people. I think if they thought it that way, that this data could be bought by many people, I think then they can come up with that. But some people are just worried that this data is, they can't explain how they got their data. For Apollo, you see, they can explain. So they are not, afraid for people to ask, to say they got their data from Apollo, because I think they are just a small scale farmers for the same, in a way, yeah. So what would be the advantage of having a local solution if Apollo exists? I think there is always an angle to localizing anything. You see, I don't think Apollo really came here and talked to people and asked, how they would want this product done. There's a lot of emails that are not on Apollo. A lot of also emails are not on Apollo. So I think if we had a local product that is more extensive, I think that would be beneficial because there's still a lot of data that they don't have. That's number one. Number two, I think where is the revenue going? The revenue is going to the US. Like for us, we've used Apollo for a very long time. Where is that money going? Sometimes it's about looking at the bigger picture about where does money go. Being selfish, we would say, I mean, because at the end of the day, I think if the money stays here, it's better for all of us. It creates jobs and all these things. So it creates a more healthy ecosystem for us. Because at the end of the day, Apollo is just we're importing data from Apollo, the same. So and we are just paying them for. So it's the same thing. I see all these digital products more as imports and exports. You're either importing or exporting. So I think a local solution still would have those kinds of benefits. And again, there are features probably that could be localized in a way that Apollo has not. Once you talk to customers, they'll tell you how they want the product to actually be built for them, for their local. And even like, let's say, adding Kiswahili or localizing even how, because that tool is really extensive. Even not very many people without proper training can use it very well. So I think it's just trying to democratize the capability further. All right.
If I can add, it could also look at the local context. So SMEs looking to market a product is not the same. Sorry about the dogs, it's feeding time. SMEs looking to market a product to like a group of CTOs in Kenya, you wouldn't have that data, or a lot of CTOs on Apollo. And then their intent, a CTO in Kenya doesn't have the same needs as a CTO in the US or a CTO in India. So there's a lot of localization in terms of what people need in the market that can be analyzed. And if it's just analyzing web searches of different people, I mean, I guess they have probably a partnership with Google to get that data, and you're able to create those profile customer segments. It will be ideal to identify for the local East African market. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, Dan, back to you.
All right. So let me share my screen. Okay. All right. Yes. So I'll demo a sample e-commerce website. Is from one of our clients, but I have the content to use it for the demo. Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, what happens in e-commerce? You usually have the user coming into the website, they check out a product, they place an order, and all these now at the back end, the shop owner is able to see everything. It's able to see, to get a notification of the order, get the customer details, whatever, with all the details, including the shipping information and all that. So, but what is key, if there is a section here which purely gives the analytics of what's happening in the shop. If, for example, you can see here, like I just did a filter for, it's not really a very active site. Yeah, but you can see from here, the user is able to see, I mean, the shop owner is able to see the total sales for a certain period. They can even see the percentage increase over a certain period. The net sales, the number of orders, the average order value, knowing exactly what the average value of the orders which have been coming through, the number of products sold, returns, also the variations, because different products could have different variations. Yeah, so if you now move down here, you can see there are some charts also giving you exactly the flow of things from a certain period to you can see the peak, you can see the day when things were not very well in terms of net sales, in terms of orders also. You can also see the top categories, the top products sold, the top categories sold in a particular period. And this data you can always, you can represent it in different versions. You can even also add other details which you can include in the report. At the end of the day, this data is useful because you can you can from just basic overview, you can be able to really tell how things are going, and maybe probably introduce some mechanisms to make sure that your shop is performing as it should, or knowing exactly what you're supposed to change. You can also, of course, export this data to another analytics platform, and of course now try to crunch it better and get now better insights. Because what this one the backend here provided just now on a brief overview, to just be able to know exactly how your business is doing. But of course, it's also very key. Now, before now you go and crunch the data for better consumption, or even for sharing, you're able to already know exactly where you stand. It's very very crucial, because and sometimes you might find that a product is not moving as you thought. Now you're able to know exactly, or you are getting returns of a certain product. You'll be able now to ask yourself a question: why am I getting returns for this product? Is the product maybe is it the quality? You can also be able to tell why a certain product is also moving and another one is not moving. You'll be able to now know exactly what you are supposed to optimize, or what product to even now restock, what products to even probably abandon entirely, and so on. So I believe in terms of e-commerce, tracking the crucial points of contact with the person who is coming to buy, because essentially in the traditional kind of setup, you find that people are just recording, a shop owner just record the orders or record the sales maybe in an Excel sheet, but from at a glimpse, you cannot really tell exactly what is happening in the shop. You have to sit down and start now maybe trying to look at, but at the end of the day, you won't even be able to know some of the fine details about the store or how your shop is doing. But basically, I would say that's the most important part of the e-commerce business. Now, trying to know exactly how everything is working, and also now being able to action accordingly, depending on how things are flowing. Yeah. So just before I hand over back to Joseph, you can be able to see there is already a breakdown of exactly of all the on the left of the screen here. You can be able to see there is the general overview. You can see the analytics for revenue, orders, variations, even coupons. Coupons are those I think we mentioned them just before during the presentation. The offers you create for a specific maybe period, so that now you can incentivize your customers to buy at a discount or something of that sort. You can even be able to see how your stock is, even as far as even taxes and all that, and even downloads, because some e-commerce businesses, of course, have like downloadable items like PDFs and all that. Yeah. So that's basically it as far as e-commerce analysis is concerned. Yeah. So unless you have any question, I can hand back over to Joseph.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I see we are 1 hour, 20 minutes into this. I don't know if people are still with us. Or it's a lot of content at once.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think we even forgot to take a break at 7, because we usually take a break at 7, but we started later. So people are still there. Maybe we can just continue and finish early.
Oh, people are here. People are here. I see.
Yes,
Yeah.
people are here. Any questions? Since people are here, maybe it's time to hear some questions, some comments.
Yeah, we can hear some questions, commentary, anything. If you're in another department, necessarily not marketing, I think you can see now how marketing ties to your department. You could ask questions. Maybe umekuwa unapewa data tu yenye imepikwa. That happens a lot in the marketing and sales. Unaitishwa tu budget the marketing and you're in finance. So how do you understand their world in the sense that you're able to also be accountable to them and you can make them accountable. So I think it's an important conversation, just even whichever department you're in. Okay, Dakura raised hand. I think they want to ask something.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Dr. Betsy, Joseph, Duncan, for that interesting presentation. For some of us, speaking on behalf of myself, I think these are a relatively new field. I'm not in marketing, but it's quite interesting. So the question I have is on the commerce analytics. Do you, beyond the total aggregates, like the totals, do you go like further and do like a kind of a product analysis and look at this product is the one that is most moving, as in not most moving, fastest moving, and maybe even then go deeper into like data science and say these 2 products or these 3 products is what we recommend the firm to do. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's very much possible. You can drill down to very specifics for products. I mean, you can even see 2 products, compare which one is doing well, and of course, and so many aspects of the same. I mean, most time it even moves. You can even see the product which has been or even a returning customer. You're able to see even a returning customer, and also now do things like cross-selling, upselling, depending on, of course, now the product they bought. You can recommend now a product to a customer, depending on what they bought previously. Yeah, so but to just answer your question, it's possible to analyze per product.
All right, thanks.
Welcome.
Victor, I think raised their hand.
Okay. So mine is going to be a bit of I don't know if it's proper for this forum, but I'll try is off the course from more of data analytics to more of business minded. I do have sometimes some of the business that I run adverts, like those social media boosts, like IG boosts and stuff like that. And I noticed that sometimes even with as less as sometimes 1,000 things can perform, and sometimes they don't perform. I was just trying to understand how can you bridge that gap, for example, for SMEs or people with small businesses, where you can guarantee them with a very small investment. You know, Kenyans, that's why things like Fuliza work and I'm sure it works. Sometimes Kenyans don't want to commit to a contract to you. I want to be able to come to you and tell you, look, my budget for this weekend is 2,000. Do advertisement for me. You take maybe 500, and with 1,500, you target the people that I can be able to get sales. And we monitor that and we get analytics from that. So I feel like there's a disconnect from that, because sometimes when you do it individually, the algorithm sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't work. But someone like, I don't know how you can tailor your platforms to catch that kind of market, where people who only, like I think Fuliza has captured the Mamamboga kind of market or the hustler kind of market, and they're making millions and billions of money, because social media companies or SMEs companies in Kenya, want to invest for a weekend. Like I know this in between the month, people don't have money, so I will not boost a post. But at the mid of the month, end of the month, I can boost a post. It can perform or not perform. But even if it performs, Facebook does not give you the proper kind of analytics or feedback of who clicked what was their demographic or things like that. So how can your platforms maybe bridge that kind of a gap?
It's something we are working on actually. There's a Novo Cloud 2.0 we are working on actually. We will actually change the whole platform. It's something we are working on the side because we've realized to offer, we've worked with a number of those, a one-man business, and we realized the biggest issue we were having with them is what you're saying. Can they pay consistently? Even for, for us, like 20K a month commitment, we're like, that's a small contract, but to them, that's really huge. Even 10K is really huge. So how do you democratize these services to suit them? And some of the things you're saying is that like you run ads today, they perform, tomorrow they don't perform. And you kind of don't have, unless you consume that data consistently for a while, then you just know the trends of, how it optimizes, then you really can't. So how do you, can you, and it's something we've had discussions around because we've seen that where you run ads this week, they perform very well. You run next week, it goes to zero. You have to it's like you have to again start thinking, how do I need to run another ad that performs? So, and I think with ML and AI now, these are things I think, it's something we've been thinking around. How can you come up with an engine that consumes this data? Anytime you run an ad, it consumes that data and kind of intelligently with some bit of very good accuracy can tell you when to run the ad, when not to run it, how to run it, what kind of an ad to run. It's something we realize, I think that would be a very critical solution moving forward, because I think the unpredictability that I can't predict when the ads will give me money, I think that's really, it's a problem. It's a big problem because now I cannot predict how to grow my business, and everyone wants some bit of stability and certainty. Even for us, we've run ads where, they perform this week, next week they don't perform, and you're constantly figuring out how do I go. But there are metrics around running ads that are very consistent. Return on ad spend. You always want to look at that. And again, at high level, depending on the kind of an ad you're running. Let's say you're running an ad where it's sign-ups on the website. Okay, good. That's a very good leading metric, a leading KPI. So you want to look at your leading KPIs, and also you look at your lagging KPIs. So what we've seen is you have to look at high level. First thing, if the cost of acquiring one sign-up is very high, definitely it just tells you the algorithm is struggling to push your ad to the right people. We've seen the more the signups, the more now it also increases the chances of you converting someone. So it's a number of factors which now you can map a whole data points, so many in the sense that you can predict that with some bit of certainty. And so you have to analyze. But it's a problem we've also seen within the market. We cannot say, for now you just launch an ad, you change the creative, you try to give people an offer, and that's how you're trying to just get the best results possible. You're just making sure you at least closing clients. You just don't want to throw budgets at these platforms because they are very good at consuming money. I don't know whether that answers you. You can just confirm.
Yeah, I'm still the one who was typed in there. I've just said that if you're really working on a solution for that, I'll be interested to see it because I do know a few businesses, and I do know some of us who are into that dilemma of do we advertise or don't advertise. And then the major problem with small businesses is that we do not want to commit the capital. We want the capital to be for goods. Anything for advertisement should be able to pay for itself. Like if I put 5,000 this weekend, let me get 10,000 or let me get 20,000. It's like we do not have any amount of money that can be spent either on dead stock. Marketing currently is inconsistent, like you said. I think when you first started, you say like someone will put $1,000, and that's I don't even know who does that, but I think that's big company, that $1,000 on Google Ads, and there will not be a return on investment. And if you look at it, just sorry, I hope I'm not eating so much time for Dr. Betsy, but if you can just allow me to expound a little bit further.
Go ahead.
That's where the catch comes in. Okay, and that's where the catch comes in, even with spending on influencers. Like people will rather pay an influencer maybe 5,000 for the micro influencers to advertise something over the weekend. You'll get traffic, you'll get inquiries, and you see from those inquiries you can be able to do a traditional judgment and know, you know what, I got 10 messages from this kind of profile, because the people who ask for that product, for example, have a similarity, and you can use traditional methods to gauge them, and you can use that as a lead and follow up on that. But you'll do an advert, you'll get likes, you'll not get comments, you'll not get inquiries, so you can't even follow up on if that is a potential client or not, because likes are nothing. I can click a like and pass. So you see, I feel like there's a really huge disconnect between spending on marketing, on SMEs, and guaranteed on ad spend. And very, very few people are focusing on products that can fit the way SMEs operate in terms of balancing capital, especially working capital. How do I balance working capital with versus marketing budget? So, and return on ad spend. So sorry if I took
that's even for giving them some of these capabilities, you have to give them very, very, let me not use cheaply, but affordably, in a very, very, very affordable manner. If you don't do that, then there's a problem. So if you don't tailor make your solution for the very small customer, and then you could say you have enterprise versions for big clients, then I think you miss out on it, because it's the biggest segment. It's something we've been thinking a lot. How do we, for all these capabilities, you tailor make them also? The smallest guy can use these, but also in a very cheap way. They can pay very few coins a month and be able to at least access features that are able to, get awareness level, create their content, whatever, schedule it, go to the run ads. Like, you're trying to make sure you're not eating into what are you saying, their capital, their running capital. So, but definitely we keep on, we keep on just looking at the market and say, okay, we develop these kind of platforms, and we see how people adopt them. Something also I realized within that segment, there's a lot of ignorance around marketing, because marketing is a key component of any business. But I realized for them, they actually prioritize other things. Marketing is like secondary. And I think for anybody who is in business, however small, they need to understand the role of marketing. I was listening to another former founder in the US who exited their business for some good amount. And they were saying, currently, most, especially SaaS businesses in America, 50% of their budgets are in marketing. Actually, like the engineering teams take about 20%. So 50% normally they use that in marketing, because you have to get the eyeballs. I think, and that you have to be consistent in making people see the eyeballs. Like I remember when Bolt came, they really did a lot of advertising, and you're wondering, why are they keeping, anytime I go to YouTube, I have to see their ad. And I'm like, I've already seen it. Why are they still advertising to us? And we've already seen it. But eventually, I remember I downloaded I was like, enough of this, I'm downloading this app and start using it. So I think as much as, they don't have huge capital, but I think the perspective of how marketing works, because marketing doesn't work overnight, you have to make sure people at least first become aware of your brand. And then you can see how do you because as we said, it's a form of also you're researching whether the offer you're giving people, the solution really makes it. I feel some people want to sell things that have not really understood whether they fit in the market. They've not done any type of research, analyzed the data, and then saying, is there something? Because I think something that is really the market needs, you don't struggle to market it a lot, I would say. But I mean, it has many dynamics. So for our context, I think the SME sector has just a lot of dynamics for our market. So it's something, it's a market, it's a segment you have to think about very deeply on how to hack it. Who is next here? Let's see, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was saying Rosemary has had her hand up for a while, and then we have Dennis Mwenda with a question on the chat.
Yeah.
I think we'll go to Rosemary and then Dennis and then Richard.
Yeah, for sure. Rose?
Thanks, Dr. Betsy, and thanks, Duncan and Joseph. This has been very eye-opening. I had two questions. My first one, I missed something on content creation and social media marketing. Do you help a client generate the content, or you just provide the platform for them to write their, let's say it's LinkedIn and they are putting in a few posts? Who is in charge of that? And so the question is tied to what Victor was talking about. If they're not doing very well on their numbers, how do you help them optimize and justify this cost? And my second question was, in addition to commerce, do you guys also work with politicians, let's say campaigns during electioneering? Because these analytics seem like they can help a politician during elections, even their Apollo emails. I was just curious.
Okay. Actually, that's the first problem we ran into when we created the scheduling capability. So we were trying to sell to people, and then they were like, who makes the content? We don't have the content. And we quickly realized we need to get graphic designers on board and package these as it's like you're selling software, but you're packaging it as a service. Like, we're doing everything for you, but we were like, our software is part of the package. So that's actually what we did. You've actually just said exactly what we are doing. So we create content for these people. For most actually of our customers, we create content. We have actually a team of graphic designers who do that. And it's what we are saying. It's a very dynamic sector. You solve them one problem, it creates another one. And so eventually you find if you have to build a platform that probably just offers all these in one place. And then, you just come here, whatever problem you have, try to see if we have solved it for you in an affordable way. So the other question was politicians. We are not working with any politician right now. But definitely, I think, these kind of solutions would be really relevant for them, especially when they are doing their campaigns and just understanding the reception on the ground and a lot of things. If you have leads of some politicians, we would be open to for introductions.
Yeah, and I think I put some ideas for you for your content development. Maybe you can start looking at generative AI and social media analytics to create like eye-catching content.
Yeah, we've been looking at the Gen AI a lot, and it's part of the roadmap that we've come with recently. So yeah, let me look at Richard. What is Richard saying? How do we commerce?
Mwenda, he's asking at 7:25, so he's slightly. How do you do search engine optimization for e-commerce websites, targeting specific customers in various locations? And then what platforms do you use? Are there open source paid platforms such as Facebook?
Duncan, I think you can answer. Your e-commerce is
okay.
your strengths.
How do you do SEO for e-commerce website? Yeah, I think right from the
e-commerce.
Yeah,
State the
right.
question again.
Yeah, I've gotten it. I think right from the, from the basics, you have to be keen on what keywords you use in your website. Of course, making sure that you use words that are, relatable, of course, to your target audience. There are things we call meta tags, how you name the pages, how you name the images you use in your shop. They have to also to be very specific. The structure of the website, of course, is also key. There are also things like making sure that the website is also mobile friendly, the speed of the website, because all these factors play a big role in making sure that you're delivering to the correct audience, and of course now reaching them on the go. Also, things like setting up things like the Google business profile, very key, just to make sure that your local search on the maps is you are visible on the map on local search. So things like, of course, backlinks. You get featured in other platforms, in other websites. Also doing blog articles, just making sure that there is active content and which is up to date in terms of your related to your product, in relation to your product, that is. So things like now, of course, now the paid platforms come in now for specific targeting, Google Ads, Meta. And of course, now making sure that you also get reviews across both in the website and of course now in in Google. Yeah, and all that. Also things like email marketing also comes in this case, because let's say you have gathered some data from your customers who are buying from the website. You also need to make sure that they are engaged. So sending them newsletters, offers, just continuously to make sure that you keep them engaged. Yeah, I think those are some of the best practices we utilize, and I think they really work pretty well. Yeah, I don't know whether I've answered your question, Dennis. All right.
How do e-commerce platforms like Jumia operate in Africa, given the unique challenges like infrastructural issues, logistics, and consumer trust? What strategies do they employ to stay afloat despite really achieving profitability in the region? Of course, fundraising is how you stay afloat if you're not making money. Jumia is a public company, so they have access to a lot of capital within the public market, the stock market. So, but if you're not profitable, also the stock market, I don't think is very friendly to you in terms of capital. So it's a tough game, I would say. It's not really easy, operating at that scale. I think the local dynamics have not helped them much, because it's very expensive to run their business here. And with all the, what do you say, people really want cheap. They don't want it. They don't understand the value of convenience that you bring into them in perspective that it deserves. So if you're not making money, you have to look how to sustain your operations, definitely. Most days you just fundraise from whoever is wishing to risk their money. That's how it works. But I think Jumia has really played a key role in, as much as they might have their issues, but I think even reaching the level they've reached, I think they have done a lot of work. And I think we might see just the negative side, but I think they've done very good work. So Victor, if you really have a solution for that, please get in touch. However, please know that SMEs don't want to commit capital. They can invest 3,000 today. I think we answered that. They want return on ad spend, get detailed analytics on who clicked, who bought. Yeah, for sure. We've seen that. So given the hesitance to commit capital, it's crucial to educate. Yeah, education is really a key part. We actually do a podcast once a week. We try to come up with topics we think they would be relevant for them, for some things that they need to understand. So yeah, we've been trying to do that, not at scale, but we're doing something. Over time, I think we will shift to more gears around it. But at least we are doing something to educate them. Thanks, Richard. Most brands commit 8% of the brand net sales value to advertisement and promotion. Can do the same, but the value might not look significant. Yeah, that's a very good answer. They need to know that they need to commit consistently for these, because it takes time to build momentum around sales and marketing. It takes time to build momentum. And what I've seen with SMEs, their biggest problem is bottom line. You know, someone opens a business and wants it to pay their bills. I don't think it works that way, but that's the case here. Business won't pay your bills immediately, maybe in the long run, but what it needs in the short term is you're pushing it. You're talking to your customers. You're advertising. You're getting out there. But anyway, we still have to see how we help these people, because they are doing something great for the ecosystem. So beyond site traffic, how do you measure the cost versus return on influencer marketing? What are KPIs? We have not really gotten into influencer marketing. That's not an area we are really doing. I would not say that's an area we are really done, or even consider doing that in the short term. I know there are influencer platforms that people who have built influencer platforms, connecting brands with influencers and all those kind of stuff. I think there's one called Wozy. I think it works with influencers. That's the name. Generative AI for, okay, I've seen Betsy recommendations were answered. So Alan, you're saying Jumia to do Harambe to stay afloat. That's the only way. Harambe. Like the Kenyan startups are really struggling. There's one of them, I don't want to mention the name. I saw they were inviting the Kenyan citizens to, if you can afford $1,000 check. So they're looking for people to write them $1,000 check, and they were looking for how many people. That's basically Harambe. That's what it takes to stay afloat. But you see, there are investors who can give you money. I mean, these VCs and all that. Those ones can write you big checks without, but sometimes those are the realities of running a business. It's very tough. And that's why you have to analyze. So yeah, that's why business analytics is very important, because at the core of business is revenue. If there's no revenue, then you probably will close at some point. So what else can we showcase? I think time is over though. I think it's 7:50. This has been really engaging. We can have parting shots, just Jumia uninstalled. Oh, don't uninstall, promote them. Betsy, you wanna do
Yeah, I think we can do parting shots because it's almost time. I don't want to keep everyone. So we can thank you so much. It was a very informative talk and a case study on the marketing analytics for SMEs. So very interesting to see what is going on currently, what are the challenges. I can see a couple of research projects that can come out of it. So if anyone is interested, they can reach out. So things like how do SMEs generate content? They don't have content developers, so how can they generate content? There's the stuff around the e-commerce analytics. There's more that can be done there in terms of cross-selling and all that. So yeah, so it's very interesting. And even in terms of the business lens, how to provide this for SMEs in the Kenyan context, who can't really afford like a big marketing budget, but you can make what's it normally called? Marketing. You know, like we had M-Pesa that take banking into mobile phone. Now we have marketing. You know, you send a 500 and you get like an ad done for you on Google Ads, something of the sort. So yeah. So I don't know. Do you have any parting shots, both you and Duncan, and then we'll close?
Yeah, I think as you're saying, I think there are good case studies some people can take there. Like even the one for running ads efficiently, you know, like map so many data points, in the sense that you can predict whether this ad will perform or not. I think that's a good one, because I think that's really a very core problem for the SMEs. Yeah, but I think it's just good, because I know when people talk of data analytics and I think sometimes people want to talk about very complicated stuff, but I think sometimes these are the practical things that, you know, for ground, these are the things that are really want to be solved by data analytics and marketing and business analytics. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just happy to do, this is season 2 of this. We did the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just happy to just be part of this. Done.
Good to see you pivot and still hanging there.
Yeah, man. You have to be really intentional. Otherwise, you know, you will find yourself also doing just Jumia, just raising money and never making money. At least we are making money. So yeah. Done? Parting shots?
Yeah, I think not so much for myself, but I think I've really enjoyed the session. Your questions came in handy. Of course, they make us think, and even sometimes give us input on what to even develop in terms of the solutions. Yeah, but it's been interesting, been real. So looking forward to the other session.
Season 3.
Great to have you around. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I guess we'll end there. Have a lovely night, guys. Thank you so much. I can't express my gratitude to both you and Joseph for taking your evening, taking your time to do this for us.
Okay. All right. Chongea. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Huwezi acha mtu athrive. Sasa kila mtu anajua niko na paka. Lazima uonekane.
Alikuwa anacheza hapo juu.
Anakuja.